A man moves his family out of the city in fear of gun violence. When he comes back for a reunion, he's shot. It's a story so startling it's been made into a movie. How filmmakers hope it sheds a new light on gun violence in Milwaukee.
Then a popular Wisconsin destination is also one of the most vaccinated places in the state. Their mission to bounce back and bring back more tourists.
A new study shows 80% of office staff remain virtual more than a year into the pandemic. Coming up, why that's about to start changing drastically starting next month.
TMJ4 News at 6 starts now.
The CDC has approved the Pfizer vaccine for kids ages 12 to 15. Good evening, I'm Shannon Sims.
And I'm Charles Benson, live along Milwaukee's lakefront, where just north of here, there is a pharmacy already vaccinating kids in that age group.
Sage Specialty Pharmacy in Shorewood administered the first shot to a child less than an hour after a CDC panel gave that green light.
Do stuff with my friends and not have to worry about it, and get to spend time with my grandparents and not have to worry about them at all.
From now until Saturday at 2 p.m., the pharmacy will administer 240 vaccines for 12 to 15-year-old children. Next week, 250 more will be scheduled. Charles, vaccinations have been key to getting life back to normal, especially for a hard-hit multi-billion-dollar tourism industry in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Shannon, vaccinations and vacations doesn't sound like a tourism theme, but I recently visited Door County, a place right along Lake Michigan, to see just how that vision is working out for them. Optimism in scenic Door County runs as deep as Lake Michigan. Goldsmith Kim Pedler owns Peninsula Jeweler in Sturgeon Bay. His business depends on tourists.
They probably account for 70% of my business.
Door County has been the crown jewel when it comes to vaccinations in Wisconsin, thanks to drive-through COVID-19 vaccine clinics like this one. 70% of Door County residents who are eligible for the vaccine already have their first shots, according to the state. And get this, nearly 60% are fully vaccinated. That's more than any other county in the state.
I attribute it to a couple of things. One, our planning began early, so we had plans in place to start messaging right away.
Dan Kane runs Door County's emergency management. He is the first to credit a dedicated team of public health workers and volunteers for the county's success. Kane says the county tested a drive-through model for flu shots last fall, and it turned out to be the roadmap for COVID-19 vaccinations. Up to 15,000 shots into arms since January, one car at a time.
Just like going to McDonald's, I can be in and out and be done. That was a big success, I think.
27,000 people called Door County home. Nearly a third are 65 and older, an age group that has been more determined to get the shot. But Door County is also home to a $400 million tourism industry. That thought is not lost on the people who live or grew up here. Maren Larson is getting her second shot.
I think that people are absolutely aware of the hospitality industry, and everyone makes their bread and butter here.
This year, bookings are up 120% compared to the same time last year, and up 45% compared to the year before the pandemic, according to Destination Door County. Back at the jewelry store, Pedler says he's off to a great start.
I'm expecting a banner year this year. Yeah. People are anxious to get out.
Now, Door County sees about 2 million visitors each year, and half of those come from Wisconsin. A third are from the Chicago area. Now, tourism isn't just important to Door County, it's also important to Milwaukee and all of the state of Wisconsin. Shannon?
All right, let's take a look at the numbers closer to home here in Milwaukee County, where currently, as you can see, 42% of those living in Milwaukee County have received their first dose of either Pfizer or Moderna, where 36%, though, have been fully vaccinated. Similar pace would be Racine County, if we take a look there. They, too, with 34% fully vaccinated. It's interesting, though, when you go over to Dane County, that's Madison area, they're outpacing us, similar to what you're seeing in Door County, as Charles spoke about, with 51% of the population being fully vaccinated. Now, of course, you can take a look at these numbers from home by using our interactive COVID-19 mapping tool. Simply go to tmj4.com/vaccine map. Vaccines are also an important factor for some companies in deciding if or when to bring people back into the office.
Ben Jordan goes in depth to explain why most virtual employees should expect to be back by Labor Day.
Downtown Milwaukee has been incredibly quiet for the past 14 months, but a new survey of Milwaukee's largest employers found that the number of in-person workers is expected to increase 200% by the end of the year. Marty Scales has worked from home since March of 2020, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
I prefer virtually, and I have 2 young children, and I do most of the child care because my wife has to work in person.
Employees at a global staffing company called Aquint feel the same. Aaron Bloom says it's led the company to do away with its office staff at City Center.
We made the strategic decision to let our leases lapse because we know through research and surveys that we're doing of our staff across the country and across the globe that people really like the flexibility that they have working remotely.
But as vaccination rates climb and coronavirus cases decline, several of Milwaukee's largest employers are eyeing an end to virtual work. Northwestern Mutual says hundreds of employees opted in to return to its downtown tower beginning next month. Manpower Group in downtown Milwaukee says it will slowly phase workers back. By mid-July, it estimates about 25% of employees to return to the office.
We've reached out to employees and said, hey, you're welcome to start coming back as part of our soft open, test some of our new routines, some of our new hybrid work models. And we've already had employees so eager to come in, raising their hands to volunteer to be part of that experience.
Manpower expects to use a hybrid work model, similar to what area school districts did with certain grade levels attending every other day. This model allows them to lease out 80,000 square feet of office space to other employers.
We really took this as an opportunity to rethink everything and really look at our space of how could we leverage it for potential other startups, community partners, other businesses looking to expand in the Milwaukee area.
Tim Sheehy with the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce believes thousands of lost jobs will return when businesses fully reopen around Labor Day.
I think every employer we've talked to today has said they are going to institute flexibility when they reopen, which means not everybody will be back in an office 5 days a week from 8 to 5.
An MMAC survey, including 73 of the city's largest employers, found that 112,000 Milwaukee area workers lost their jobs when the pandemic hit Wisconsin. Since then, about half of those jobs returned.
The companies don't want to be the first ones back. They don't want to make a decision on being the first to open up. They want to make a decision that's right to open up.
A recent economic study involving thousands of American workers found that employees would like to work from home nearly 50% of the time, whereas employers would like to see just one virtual day a week. Reporting in downtown Milwaukee, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.
And the Milwaukee Business Journal says offices will look a lot different when employees return as well. Editor-in-chief Mark Cass says that companies are already preparing office spaces by spreading out workers and adding precautions with hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies. Cass also says he's heard of very few businesses requiring employees to get vaccinated before they return to the office.
It's really hard to do from a legal standpoint. So I just think we're all going to assume, in a sense, that you haven't been vaccinated and you got to take the proper precautions.
We have a Twitter poll up right now asking, with more vaccines widely available, would you go back to the office today if you could? Head there now to vote.
All right, well, still ahead, find out where local basketball standout Patrick Baldwin Jr. will be playing college ball.
And after that frosty start, we had a gorgeous day. Sunshine, temperatures in the 50s along the lakefront, 60s inland, and fire up the grill this evening. Even by 8 o'clock, we're still in the lower 50s. So do you have to cover the plants tonight? We'll talk about that coming up.
New at 6, the Milwaukee Film Festival is in its second week, and a film about the complexity of gun violence here in Milwaukee is one of the featured films.
Sarah McCrew has a closer look.
Claude and his family moved from Milwaukee to Charlotte partially to get away from gun violence. But on a trip back for a reunion in 2014, Claude got shot.
I looked back over my shoulder, and he was looking down at his phone, and I went in the house.
When Claude Got Shot is a movie that follows Claude Motley from just days after he was shot in the face after a carjacking attempt to years and surgeries later as he continues to recover.
Born and raised in Milwaukee, and one of the things that has always been a problem has been crime.
Claude was shot by then 16-year-old Nathan King. Nathan was shot just a few days later in an attempted robbery. Teen-involved violence is an issue we continue to see in Milwaukee today.
A lot of young people has been getting younger and younger. That a lot of the situations has happened and has escalated has been amongst the young people.
The movie not only looks at the strife and pain the incident caused Claude and his family, but also shows the impact on Nathan and his family.
Understanding that there are victims on both sides of the gun.
Filmmaker Brad Lichenstein says his goal with this movie is to humanize gun violence and bring urgency to the problem.
One shot affects you for the rest of your life. It affects the shooter for the rest of his or her life, and it affects families and friends. And ultimately, too, you multiply that by all the gunshots that happen in our city.
Both Brad and Claude hope that the root issues behind gun violence are also addressed more than they have been.
Everybody that I know grows up and wakes up every morning have a level of PTSD from all the racial strife and all the segregation and all the inequalities that go on in life. Picking up a gun or having violence is the end result of frustration and anger.
And despite the shooting putting his career on hold and going through more than a dozen surgeries, Claude remains optimistic about the place he calls home.
I want this film to give people hope that there are things that we can do, and getting in these kids' lives, getting our self-confidence and our pride back and everything and things like that is definitely what I hope that this film can give people.
You can check out When Claude Got Shot as part of the Milwaukee Film Festival, which runs until May 20th. Reporting in Milwaukee, Sarah McGrew, TMJ4 News.
All right, Sarah, thanks. We did some digging and found through May 5th of this year, 32 people under the age of 18 have been a victim of a shooting in Milwaukee.
And of course, head to TMJ4.com to learn more about how you can stream this film and many others for this year's film festival.
All right, let's take a live look outside. A beautiful day out on Milwaukee's lakefront. Nice day to get out for a sail. It's been a nice day, and it may just get better with each day. Brian has details of your full forecast next.
All right, now to the weather. Another gorgeous spring day out in Wisconsin.
It has been. Look at Charles.
Brian, along the lake.
Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I'm down here on the lakefront. It's great. I see some people biking, running, somebody out on your sailboat. What's going on?
Well, I borrowed the sailboat. I don't know who, but I hope they're enjoying it. At least today you got that southeast wind off the lake, so it's not as cold as it has been. When that lake breeze kicks in, that sun makes a world of difference as well. Second morning in a row where we've had some very frosty conditions. Temperatures staying right around 30 degrees in Waukesha and West Bend, 27 Burlington, 28 Lake Geneva, 36 in Milwaukee. It didn't stay that cold for very long. We had that sunshine this morning. It rapidly warmed up. Light wind, sunny conditions, upper 50s in Milwaukee by around the noon hour, low to mid 60s in the inland areas, and it stayed in the mid 50s around Port Washington and Racine. That lake breeze kicked in around the noon hour, but as I mentioned, it's more of a southeasterly breeze, so even though it's coming off the water, it's bringing in some of that warmer air from the south, so temperatures not quite as cool where Charles is right now. 59 degrees, very comfortable conditions in Waukesha. It's very dry air. Humidity levels are in the 20% range. Still seeing some temperatures inland in the low to mid 60s. No one's in the 40s, not even Port Washington. How about that? Water temperature up to 46 degrees. With that said, we still have another chance for some frost, but in the inland areas, Beaver Dam, Watertown, Waukesha, Whitewater, Lake Geneva, Burlington, down towards Twin Lakes. Now, Racine and Kenosha, yeah, you are in that frost advisory, but it's mainly for the inland areas. The lakefront will stay right around 40 degrees tonight and frost free. 40 in Milwaukee, 41 Racine, mid to upper 30s inland, so even not a freeze, just a frost, but still cover up the plants in the inland areas. High pressure over us gave us that nice day today. There's rain back off to the west, but the high pressure wins the battle. We stay sunny and dry until Sunday. And if you're an allergy sufferer, it's getting a little bit better. Grass and weeds still not registering. Trees are down to moderate and mold down to low. For Thursday afternoon, temperatures in the low to mid 60s in Milwaukee. We'll get a little bit of a lake breeze kicking in, dropping us into the upper 50s late in the day, but otherwise just a fantastic day. Green lights for car washes Thursday and Friday. Most of Saturday looks fine, just a slight chance late in the day, but Sunday has the best chance for rain once again. Lows tonight in the 30s inland to lower 40s along the lakefront, and Thursday that warming trend continues. 64 degrees in Milwaukee before we do see some temps drop into the 50s with that southeast breeze. Mid-60s in the inland area. 7-day forecast, 65 on Friday, 64 on Saturday. Just that slight chance of a shower, better chance of rain on Sunday afternoon. Some morning showers on Monday and some 70s and thunder showers on Wednesday. We're back after this.
All right, we are less than 30 minutes away from learning the Packers' schedule for the upcoming season. The team did reveal today, though, that they will play the New Orleans Saints down in the Big Easy Week 1, which is September 12th. All right, now to college basketball. One of the top recruits in the country, Charles, has made his decision on where he will continue his career.
This is exciting news. Delaney Bry introduces us to the newest UWM Panther, Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Deciding where he would play for the next 4 years, Patrick Baldwin Jr. had 3 programs in mind: Georgetown, UW-Milwaukee, and Duke. But at the end of the day, he wanted to play for Dad, and Dad is the head coach of the Panthers.
It means the world to me. I mean, he's been my trainer, he's been my coach, he's been my father. So just getting a chance to play for him and really kind of help his team win next year, and it means a whole lot to me.
Publicly, I'll let you guys know he still has some chores to do at home. But no, he's everything that you would want a son to be. And as a coach, I think outside of talking about all the accolades and everything, he's also what you want as a player too.
I want to win everywhere I'm at. I think with the talent we have next year, and then obviously me coming into the mix, I think we have a really good roster next year. I trust my dad. I know he'll be creative next year.
Because of NCAA rules, I could never coach him. So it's going to be great because we've had all these moments in these gyms, working out and training together and doing all that stuff, and now to pull him out for not taking a shot or taking a bad shot or not defending is going to be weird.
The highest rated recruit that UW-Milwaukee basketball program has ever had. You may be wondering, if he wanted to play for Dad, what took so long? To that, Patrick was honest. He considered everyone.
There were still a lot of moving parts with a lot of the coaches that I had been in contact with, and I mean, as much as it's hard to say no to your dad, it's very difficult to say no to some of the all-time great coaches that I had the opportunity to come in contact with.
Patrick also mentioned the Panthers' latest postseason run, noting that they proved that they were fighters and winners, and that's who he wants to play with. Reporting in Milwaukee, Delaney Bry, TMJ4 News.
It's always good to be close to home, right? Well, we'll be right back.
As here's what's coming up next on Milwaukee Tonight. Beer garden season is officially upon us. The Traveling Beer Garden starts up tonight. We will take you there and tell you what you need to know before you head out for a cold one or two this year. That's coming up next on Milwaukee Tonight.
Not as cold tonight. No frost advisories for the lakefront, even though Racine and Kenosha are in that. It's for the inland areas. So there will be some patchy frost inland with temperatures in the low to mid 30s. Lakefront will be near 40 degrees. Thursday, another great one. A lot of sunshine, highs in the low to mid 60s before a little bit of a breeze along the lake.
Sounds good. Thanks. Well, thank you for joining us tonight on TMJ4 News at 6.